Hey everyone, I'm Sebastian from Cinemageddon Reviews, and oh my god, I can't believe it took me a while to actually make this video, but, well, 700 subscribers! Or 742 at the time I'm making this video, unless some asshole decides to unsubscribe by the time I make it. So, I'm kind of floored by this, honestly. Let me start off by saying to all of the fans who've been watching us, what little fans we probably actually have, and just people who watch our videos because they find them entertaining, thank you so much for all the love and support that you have been giving this channel, especially considering that it's only really been around for a while. Even though the channel started back in 2020, I really want to say that it truly gained prominence at 2021 by the time that I joined. Which is kind of ironic considering that I'm actually the one who started the channel in the first place. So, let me do a little bit of house cleaning here. There's a couple of things that I want to do. I didn't have anything special planned for this occasion because unfortunately, the few things that I did want to do, I was unable to get them out in the open because of complications. And I'm here to address a lot of those complications. So, let's start off with this. I originally wanted to do a 200 subscriber special video. That was going to be a Q&A session between me, Diego, and our friend Gabe. It was gonna be a really fun little video that we did as a sort of thank you to all of our subscribers, especially the many that we were getting at a very unexpected pace. But then we kept getting more and more and more and more, so that kind of got delayed until we could find a substantial number that we can basically look at and be like, you know what, we can bank on this number for a while before we gain any more, and it won't become irrelevant afterwards. And I guess now is as good a time as any to actually do it. The problem was, here's the thing. This actually leads me to another announcement that I'm going to be doing. We were unable to complete this video because of complications that arose with the footage that we were working on. This was going to be a collaborative effort between me, Gabe, and Diego. And unfortunately, due to those complications, this video ended up getting cancelled indefinitely ahead of time as a result. The same thing happened with my review for Tom and Jerry, which unfortunately means I'm not going to be covering that movie because while I did have a script ready for it, it felt like it wouldn't really be appropriate for me to actually post here on Cinemageddon. This is one of the complications that we've experienced on the channel ever since it started, but for this one in particular, the 200 subscriber special, which was going to be a really fun Q&A that a couple of you on Discord and Twitter ended up asking us, unfortunately, I wanted to still do something like that, but for the time, it's not going to be coming in anytime soon for the other reason that I'm about to talk about. We are officially one man down. Our friend Gabriel told us yesterday that he is no longer going to be collaborating with us. He has decided to part ways due to the heavy workload, not necessarily with us, but with life in general. And he decided to go ahead and part ways and do his own stuff on the side. He is still open to coming back and collaborating, but right now he wishes to remain a fan and nothing more. We completely respect his decision, and we hope that whatever he does in the future will give him nothing but wonders and success. So, unfortunately, as you can imagine, the 200 subscriber special, which incidentally would have been a 700 subscriber special, and that kind of video is not going to be happening anytime soon until, I want to say, after we get a bigger sub count than what we already got, because we don't just want subscribers, we want to build a community of fans. And despite how many subscribers we got, I don't think we're there yet. We will though, in the future. At least, I hope that we do. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's address the rest of the channel, and more specifically, what the hell am I going to be doing, or more importantly, what the hell are we going to be doing from here on in? Well, let me address one little thing. Let me nip this in the bud. That little video that I teased at the end of my Wonder Woman 1984 video. So, with this out of the way, what's next on the agenda?
This is real, this is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna let the light.
Yeah. If it wasn't obvious, that video has been indefinitely cancelled. I have a million reasons why I don't want to do this video now after I teased it for so long. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's such a difficult video to talk about. It's the fact that I personally do not feel comfortable talking about this material, if you want to call it that, in light of all the horrible things that happened to Demi Lovato. I don't have a word to describe how uncomfortable it makes me to have to talk about this, knowing what they went through both on and off screen, but let's just say that it didn't feel right to make this video, especially considering how horrible that first draft was. I decided to cancel that indefinitely and just focus on with the rest of my videos. Especially when you consider the fact that apparently the Stories from the Wasteland videos have been getting a lot more views compared to all the other videos that we've done so far, which is honestly a much bigger accomplishment in my opinion, because I never thought that these little bite-sized videos would be the ones that would be getting everybody to come in. But at the same time, I probably should have seen it coming because they're short and easily consumable. So, speaking of Stories from the Wasteland, here's what is currently in development as we speak. As of this moment, I am working on 2 Stories from the Wasteland videos. Black Widow, which is going to be the next one that I'm going to be releasing here on the channel. I'm very hard at work on it, and as of this moment, the script has finally been completed after part of it ended up being accidentally deleted, and I will be shooting and recording every single aspect of it tonight, only for it to be released tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And yes, I do mean it, 7 o'clock tomorrow. This is actually a deadline I'm making for this particular video, assuming that Disney does not decide to fucking block it. But it will be released tomorrow. I have a lot of things to say about this film, and it is one of my favorites of the year so far. Another video that I'm working on as we speak, I may have slightly kind of fibbed about this being a Stories from the Wasteland video. It is a movie that was released outside in theaters, but I highly doubt this is going to be considered a regular Stories from the Wasteland review. This is going to be a video essay on Bo Burnham Inside. This is a show that I did not expect to hit me so deep in so hard the way that this did. And I have a lot of things to say about this, and it made me feel, it gave me some feeling that I don't really think I can accurately put into words until, of course, I show you all what exactly it is that I'm referring to. This is a very clever, very wonderful, very emotionally driven show that really just wants you to laugh, but at the same time feels like it's got something else to say. I don't want to say more about it. I'm just gonna wait until that video is complete so that you can all see for yourself. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about The Greatest Showman. Our review, which is me and KCast Reviews, is still in development as we speak. We are working very hard to get that script written because we want to make this the best kind of video that we can possibly make. It's going to be a really weird, really fun, and really silly experience that will basically have the two of us butting heads trying to argue as to whether or not this movie is a masterpiece or a complete and utter disaster. Spoiler alert, it's a fucking disaster, but that's beside the point. I'm very excited for that video, especially considering what Kate and I are working on when it comes to this. It's going to be one of the stupidest things I've ever agreed to do on camera, but I'm very excited to make it happen nonetheless. More information about that is coming in very soon, but for now, look forward to it because let me just say, this is probably going to be the most effort that anyone should ever have to put for something like this. And then there's the other video that I ended up teasing, this one regarding my Mitchells vs. the Machines review, where I ended up teasing over the possibility of a review for Gravity Falls. This is going to be a really long and really exhausting video that I'm not going to be releasing anytime very soon during this year. Yeah, I know I teased it, and I know that I said it's going to happen, and it is. But you all need to give me a little bit of time because Gravity Falls is such a perfect series. I don't want to just make this a 10-minute review telling you about why this is good or why this is good. I want to take my time watching every single aspect of this, dissecting every nook and cranny, and making this the best possible review that I can possibly make for a show like this. It's one of my favorite shows of all time and one that I was able to binge watch the entirety of alongside my girlfriend. So I have a lot of feelings about this show and a lot of opinions that I really want to express, but I'm gonna wait until I am fully prepared to tackle it, which will be coming, just not as soon as you think. Okay, now, this is the real reason I wanted to make this particular video. There's a little bit of an announcement that I want to make, and this is something that I genuinely want to come to all of you. There's no music here, and all of this is unscripted, which is why a lot of weird jumps and edits are being done here. But this particular bit right here is going to be completely one take, because I want all of you to know that I am very serious about what I'm about to say. We have really grown bigger in just a couple of months. Maybe not something like Wait in the Wings big, but I cannot help but see just how big we've gotten and look very proudly at all the things that we've done. And I know in my heart that none of this would have been possible if all of you didn't watch our videos and subscribe to them. And now, I hate to ask this for all of you, but we really need your help. I have been wanting to do this for Cinemageddon reviews for years. Not a few months, years. It is a project that I have been wanting to do since 2019, back when Cinemageddon Reviews was still a play. Okay, one fucking edit. This is something that I've been wanting to do for Cinemageddon Reviews since 2019, when it was still just a page on Facebook. And it is something that I don't think would have been possible back in 2019, but now in 2021, I have all of the resources, almost, to make it happen. This is going to be a long project that I know for a fact will really bring one of the biggest series of all time into the spotlight, at least for me personally. It is a series that I've loved since 2018, one that I fell down a huge rabbit hole and refused to crawl my way out of. It is one of the greatest shows that ever emerged from Japan, one that ended up spawning multiple sequels, multiple remakes, and one that to this very day remains one of the most important shows in Japan, as well as one of the most important shows in my heart. This series is what I like to call a total unbelievable masterpiece, and it is one that I am finally able to talk about in its entirety. Not just with the remakes, with the sequels, but with the original series, which for a long time has really only been available out in Japan, but I am going to do everything in my power to make it so that all of you watching at home will be able to get a taste as to what exactly this show was about. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm referring to my favorite series of all time, Star Blazers, or Space Battleship Yamato. I have a whole lot of love and appreciation for this series ever since I discovered the remake 2199 in 2018. I remember where I was when I was watching it. It was the first episode and I was eating Chinese after coming out of work. It was one of the best shows I have ever seen, and it was just the one episode that managed to grab me by the balls and drag me down with it. It was just absolutely wonderful. For those of you who don't know, I don't want to give too much away, but let me just say, this was basically Star Wars before Star Wars ever actually got made. It actually predates Star Wars by 3 years. 3. And I'm not even talking about just the general concept. I mean in terms of space opera in general, in popular media. It wasn't until Space Battleship Yamato came along that space operas were really beginning to become mainstream. It was the one that, in my opinion, ended up laying the groundwork for not just Star Wars, but for other anime like Legend of the Galactic Heroes to truly run. It walked for those shows and movies to run, but in my opinion, this one walked the longest and it walked the strongest. I have so many things to say about this, but let me just say, I want to do this video because it is something that I've wanted to make for so many years now. But as I say that now, I realized an error in what I just said. This isn't going to be a video. It's not going to be a review. It's going to be a retrospective. And it's going to take multiple videos spanning on multiple weeks for me to truly tell you why it is that I love this show. and I'm going to be covering every aspect of it that I can cover on this show. From the original series, to the movies, to the English dub of the original show that came out in 1979, to the remake, to the live action movie, everything. It is going to be a month-long, if not 2 months long undertaking, and one that I will be writing extensively about over the next couple of months. This is going to be a series that I've wanted to really show to all of my Western fans out here, because I wanted to give a spotlight to what is, in my opinion, the greatest show that I have ever seen. Maybe not just with one in particular, but with the entire franchise. You probably haven't heard of it, and if you haven't, then allow me to introduce you to it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Star Blazers, or as it's known in Japan, Space Battleship Yamato. Pretty fucking cool, right? And that's just a small aspect of it. So, how can you, the viewer, help make this video retrospective possible? Well, there's 2 different ways. The first is the most obvious: liking our videos, commenting on them, and sharing them with your friends on social media, subscribing to the channel. This is by far the most simple and easy way for you to be able to support this channel and help us grow even faster. It's exactly the same way that we were able to grow this past few months. The second best way for you to be able to support the channel is to check out our Patreon page for bonus content and exclusive rewards, where not only will you be able to get to see our videos a couple of days beforehand, you will also get a chance to see the scripts that were written for that particular video, as well as being able to get a whole bunch of other additional goodies, including the chance to be able to request for a movie or show for us to review in the future. This is completely optional, of course, and we really don't necessarily need you to do so, but it would actually help make this video happen a lot faster, because it would give us all the necessary funding that we need to get the materials needed to make the video possible. Especially considering that part of this video will require for us to actually watch the original series, which, as I mentioned before, is not available for streaming or even for purchasing here in America. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be purchasing the original series as it was originally released in Japan. I'm going to import it, and I'm going to be fan subbing the hell out of it, so that I can be able to not only watch it, but also get footage for all of you to watch in the video. And there is a way for me to do so. The problem is, it's going to be a bit expensive, which is why I'm going to be setting up a goal for all of you watching at home to be able to help us make this possible. I'll be giving more details about that in the description, but for now, let me just say that if you really want to make this happen, but you don't necessarily have enough in the bank to make it happen, which is perfectly fine, all you have to do is like our videos, comment, and subscribe, and also sharing our videos on social media for everyone to watch. Your support helps us wonderfully, and your continued support has made us grow in a way that I didn't even anticipate. I cannot thank you all enough for all of this. You all are the best fans that any person like me could ever ask for, and Diego shares that same sentiment. I'm very sorry we weren't able to give you the Q&A video that you were all hoping for, but for everyone else and to all of our fans out there, thank you so much for 700 subscribers. It may not be a big number for anybody's eyes, but for us, 700 is a bigger number than 7. So that to us is a big number, and we appreciate all the love and support that you've given us, which is why we're not going to be slowing down anytime soon. Your support is what's driving us to go even further. This wasteland is getting more and more livable nowadays, but it's still a fucking wasteland, and one that we will continue to traverse to give you the best content possible. So for now, on behalf of all of us here, I'm Sebastian from Cinemageddon Review signing out, and I'll see you on the wasteland.